A shark bait.
Ooh ha ha.
Good job paying attention. Okay, class, let's get into our best rock star ready position. That means feet on the floor, hands on our desks, and pencils in our hot spots, right?
Right.
Okay, thank you for being rock star ready for math. Give yourself a star on your chart. Yesterday, when we reviewed fractions, we talked about the numerators and denominators. Who can tell me if the numerator is the top or the bottom of the fraction? Chelsea?
The numerator is the top and the denominator is the bottom.
Oh, good job. Thank you for raising your hand. I appreciate that. Could you give yourself another star? Okay. Awesome. Thank you for paying such great attention while we were reviewing yesterday's lesson. Today we're going to talk about dividing shapes into parts. You're going to learn to divide shapes into equal portions when I give you a fraction. So let's look at step 1. Step 1 says, look at the number in the denominator. And so if we take the fraction 3/4, or I'm going to look at the number in the denominator. And we just said that the denominator was the bottom of the fraction. So this is the denominator, and the denominator is 4. Okay, so if I have a shape, and I need to divide that shape into equal fractions, okay, can you repeat for me what step 1 is? Ready?
Look at the number in the denominator.
That's right. We just looked at that number, and I decided the number is 4. Okay? And then for step 2, I'm going to divide the shape into that same number of parts. So I have 4 here, so I'm going to divide it into 4 equal parts. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I have all the parts. Okay, so what am I going to do?
Divide the shape into the same number of parts.
Perfect, and there we did it. Okay, so step number 3, I'm going to look at the number in the numerator. Okay, and so I'm looking at that number, I say, okay, that number is 3. Okay, so what is that third step I'm going to do is?
Look at the number in the numerator.
That's right, and I've decided that number is 3. And so for step 4, we're going to look at our shape and shade in the same number of parts in the shape. So there's 3 parts, there's a 3 in the numerator, so we're going to shade in 1, 2, and 3 parts of our shape here. Okay, and so now we've shaded in the same number of fractions. So can you tell me what I've done right here for step 4 already? I have
shade in the same number of parts in the shape.
That's right, and we did 1, 2, 3. And so step 5, we need to check and make sure that we have the same as our fraction. So for the fraction, for the denominator, we have 4 parts in total. So there's total of 1, 2, 3, 4 parts in our shape that we've now split it into. And then for the numerator, we need to make sure that we've shaded the proper number of fractions. So we've shaded 1, 2, and 3 parts. Okay? So that's what we're doing to divide our shapes into fractions. Okay, so now, rock stars, I'd like you to help me do this next problem. So let's all answer together. Okay, let's look at the number. Okay, what is the number in the denominator? Ready?
4.
Great. The number in the denominator is 4. Okay, so what is our next step? Ready?
Divide the shape into the same number of parts.
That's right. So what shape is this?
Circle.
That's right. It's a circle. So how many lines would we draw to divide the circle into 4 parts? Ready?
2.
Good. Good job remembering how to do that. So we're going to do 1 and 2. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 parts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what is our next step?
Look at the number in the numerator.
That's right. So who can tell me what number is in this numerator? Ready? Answer together.
1.
Great job. Okay, so there's 1 number in the numerator. So what is our next step? We're going to
shade in the same number of parts in the shape.
That's right. So how many parts are we going to shade?
1.
Perfect. All right, I'm going to shade that 1 part. Good job remembering all of our steps. Okay, and our last step is we're going to check our work. So what are we going to do? We're going to
check our work.
Thank you for all answering together. Okay, and to check our work, what are we going to do? We're going to first look at
the denominator.
Perfect. And what does the denominator tell us? It tells us how many parts are in the whole shape. So it tells us what?
How many parts are in the whole shape.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, and then the numerator tells us what?
Which one's to shade?
That's right, and that will tell us how many parts of a fraction we have. So we have 1 out of 4. So we're 1/4. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to do one more example. Okay, and for this one, who can tell me step number 1? Oh, Chelsea, thank you.
Look at the number in the denominator.
That's right. Okay, so Rob, what are we going to do with the number in the denominator?
Look at it.
Okay, and can you tell me what that number is?
4.
Great, thank you. Okay, so Chelsea, can you tell me what the next step is going to be?
Divide the shape into the same number of parts.
That's right. Would you like to come and divide it for me?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Thank you. Good job. And you even remembered that the lines that we make are not dividing up the parts. It has to do with the spaces. It's the 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. So we only need 3 lines. That's sometimes tough. Okay, so for our next part, what are we going to do? Rob, get ready.
Look at the number in the numerator.
Perfect. Thanks, Rob. Okay, so Rob, can you tell me what number that is?
2.
Okay, Chelsea, what are we going to do next?
Shade in the same number of parts in the shape.
Okay, Chelsea, you want to come shade in the number of parts? Great job. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, Rob, can you check our work and tell us why we only shaded in 2 of the parts?
Because the numerator is 2.
That's exactly right. Thank you so much. All right, now I'm going to give you a worksheet with all of the steps that we learned, and try and remember all the steps we learned today. If you get stuck and need help, please raise your hand. Okay. Thank you so much for all your good work today, rock stars. Today we learned how to divide shapes into equal parts from a fraction. What did we learn to do today?
How to divide shapes into equal parts of a fraction.
That's exactly right. Thank you. And you all listened and followed directions so well. I'm proud of how each of you completed your worksheets and showed me what good listeners you are. Rock on, rock stars. Tomorrow we're going to use what we learned about fractions today and start putting fractions onto number lines.